Okay.
When somebody say God is good, what is your response?
All the time.
And all the time,
God
God
is
is
good.
good. There we
Okay.
go.
Yep. See?
There we
That's a
go.
universal thing.
That's a universal
That's a
thing.
universal thing.
Walking like you talk it, and talk it, going and shout it out. So tell it like it is, don't be selfish. Now tell me what you mean, be free, alright?
Thank you for watching us today. I'm your host, Kiari Moon, and we have a fantastic show for you today. Listen, our first guest is from Barwick, Georgia. Known for his outstanding leadership, spending over a decade in the United States Army, and currently serving. Listen, he has made quite the name for himself. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the newly promoted Chief Warrant Officer, Derion Lewis.
Yes, sir. I'm here with y'all today.
Listen, how does it feel, Chief?
I had to drink that one first, but
Okay.
it feels amazing. I tell you that I still am in like a world of shock because I'm like this little guy from a town that does not even have a stoplight, right?
Correct. That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. Do not have a
Has
stoplight.
become a warrant officer in the United States Army.
Right.
So they just I'm just living in a world of like it feels like a dream.
Right.
Like it's been over 2 years that I've commissioned over, and not even just like the warrant officer thing, but it's just I don't know. It just feel like I'm living in a dream.
Right. First of all, I want to compliment you on how you look. You look good. Can we give a round of applause? I mean, he looks good.
Appreciate y'all.
I mean, you're glowing. You look like you are at, I wouldn't say the height, right, of your career, but you are certainly on a high.
I appreciate
right?
it.
How does it feel, getting promoted, honestly becoming like this role model for a lot of people in your community in Barwick, Georgia?
Right.
How does it feel to be that? You are that, by the way. Like, you are that. You are that role model.
Okay, so how does it feel to answer that question? It feels, again, I think everyone can speak to this. Like anything that comes positive, aka a promotion, right? You're gonna be excited about it. You feel good about it. So I do feel amazing about being promoted. Living in the world of being the role model for individuals from a town such as Barwick, and by way of Thomasville because I was born there, but I grew up, was raised in Barwick, right? So for kids seeing someone like me I was not the most popular in my town now.
Right.
But seeing me come from that to where I am now, and they have someone to look at, it just take me back to like I just feel like I'm living in a dream.
So
because who thought it would be me?
Exactly, and the thing that's so intriguing, and we're gonna go back from the start, right?
Okay.
And actually, let's hit on that now. So, the start, right, of Derion Lewis, right?
Yes.
Let's go back there to that, 10-year-old boy with the dream. What was your dreams like? What were they?
At 10 years old, I think my dream at that point, at that age, was kind of like every other young boy, right?
Right.
I want to be the police officer. I want to be
Right.
the firefighter. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. At 10 years old, I had no inkling of I want to be in the military. Military didn't come for me until I was like maybe in about 10th grade.
So who did you, not to cut you, but who did you look up to as a child?
One person that I looked up to, and he's no longer with us, is my uncle, man. He's my mother's. He's my mother's brother. That's next to her. My mom's the oldest, and he was the second oldest. But he went into the Navy.
Wow.
But because of a sickness rather, he had lupus. He got sick within a few months of being there. He completed like 11 months of service, but he had to get medically retired, and he was sick his entire life.
Right.
But him going through that and like setting the standard of there's more to the world than where we are,
Right.
pushed me when I became of age.
Right.
To like, hey, venture out. Let's go see what's out there.
Wow. So going back to your upbringing, right? And let's hit on that just a little bit. So, what was your biggest, I guess, failure or fear like growing up? Like, what was a time or an experience that you learned from growing up, either from failure or from fear?
Not necessarily a failure, but from fear for me was being broke. I've always been that kid from a young age, probably like before 10, as we mentioned 10 earlier, right? I've always been a kid of always wanting my own money.
Yeah.
So growing up, I had to work in the fields. I had to work in every fruit,
Now-
vegetable, anything you name that we eat today.
So
I
wait,
worked in the fields to get
So
it.
the field. Wait a minute. So for the audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did you have to do in the field?
Oh, in the field, what the ancestors did, my ancestors, the
Okay.
African American, what they did back in the days as slaves, right? I did growing up with some of my great aunts and my grandmother. We went in the field, we cut all kind of vegetables, collards, mustards, kale. We picked all kind of peas, beans, anything you can name.
That's crazy.
Fruits, vegetables. I worked in watermelon. I've done it.
Wow, that is crazy.
In the modern day time, 'cause I'm only like 31. So in a modern day, I've done all of that, and it's
Right.
just a southern thing, I guess. But it's really taught me what hard work is, and from a young age, again,
Right.
that and me wanting my own money pushed me to be like, hey, I'm afraid of having to work this hard again, or all my life
Right.
rather. So I'm gonna go out here and see what else there is. But just in case I don't, I know what hard work is, so I know how to go out and get it.
Right. I mean, I love the fact that you have humble beginnings, right?
Very humble.
Very humble
Very,
beginnings.
very humble.
Exactly. And thanks for sharing that with our audience. And something that I want to touch on is, what moving forward, right? What attracted you to the field of the army and like the military? I know we touched on it earlier, but what actually drew you to that? I know you mentioned your uncle.
Okay. So what actually drew me to it was like other than my uncle, seeing him going off into
Yeah.
the Navy, because I never really thought about the Navy. I just knew I just wanted to get away. But other than that, in about 10th grade, I was like, okay, life is about to get real here soon, right?
Yeah.
So I started thinking, I'm like, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Before the 10th grade, way before that, I already knew I hated school. I was a smart kid, but I learned on my own terms, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like, if I wanted to be the A student or the B student, get AB on the roll, I applied
do it.
myself, I could do it.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest with you.
Okay.
I was the type of guy like, hey, I'm
hard
gonna
truth,
do
ladies and
enough.
gentlemen.
I'm gonna do enough to get by.
Hey.
And that's what I did. Now, I wasn't no like D, C student. I made A's, I made B's, but every now and then I would give me a C
You
or a
met
D.
the standard.
Don't get me wrong, I would give me a C or a D. But I knew I didn't want to go to school. So I was like, I'm not going to college. And then, again, we know college is money.
Right.
Where I come from.
In some cases, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in most cases,
Most
because when
cases,
you
yes,
think of
that's
college,
true.
you think of like, hey, who's gonna pay for it? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I mean, I know there's the local like technical colleges and stuff
Right,
like that where
right.
you can get like little assistance. But I didn't want to go to school. I hated school, so I was like, I got to do something else. And one day, over the intercom, it must have been God. They were like, hey, if you would like to take the ASVAB, report to class such and such. I quickly got on my phone and text my cousin. I was like, let's go take the ASVAB. Again, just to get out of class. Just to get out of a learning
Wow.
opportunity. And just from that little small moment until now,
Your whole life changed.
it changed my whole life.
That's crazy.
Changed my whole
That
life.
is crazy.
Yes.
That is crazy. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this just goes to show you that no matter what your path, there's so many different ways to get to where you need to be, actually, right?
Fine with that.
So aside from that, we hear that you like to sing,
Oh, Lord.
right? And we know that you're always singing a song, right? One of your mentors actually mentioned it at your promotion.
Yes,
What
she did.
take us back to that moment when you were private, Lewis, right? What were some of the songs that you were singing? a hymn. Can you bust out a hymn for us a little bit? Let the audience hear what you got.
Oh Lord. So
Take us to church.
me singing, yeah. I'm glad you said
Take us
that.
to
Take
church.
us to church, right? I got to think of a song real quick while I'm talking about this, but it goes back to me childhood. Mama had me. My first time ever singing in public was when one of my cousins. We was vacation Bible school. You know they do that over the summer, right?
Yeah.
So one of my cousins, like at the end of vacation Bible school, whatever group you were in, we had to get together and do some kind of project, right? So our project became a song, like our little group, right? And then we learned the song. They were like, "Who's gonna lead it?" And me, being shy at the time, I didn't want to lead it. So everybody's trying. Then I tried it, and man, struck gold. From that point forward, I led the song. Church went wild. Mama made me join the choir.
Wow.
So from there to now, everywhere I've been, up in the military, probably except my last 2 duty stations, I got to be honest. I've been in some type of choir from childhood up until now. So probably like around about 11, 12 years old.
Right.
But let me give you all a song. Let me give you all a selection. Lord, your mind go blank when you.
Your mind do go blank, right?
Let me see. Dang, this is crazy. Many songs I know, I'm going blank.
So look, so while you're thinking about that, right?
Okay.
When somebody say God is good, what is your response?
All the time.
And all the time, God is good.
Okay.
There we go.
Yep, see?
There we go.
That's a universal thing.
That's a universal
That's a
thing.
universal
That's
thing.
a black church
Yeah.
thing, right?
I think so.
Right? That's a black church
Yeah,
thing.
I think so.
That's where it's at. So,
think so.
Okay. Have you thought of a song yet for the audience? Have you thought of anything?
Let me see. I'll do a little bit of this right here. I think Leandra would say something like this. Everything. You're everything to me. Everything. You're everything to me. Your life and breath. That what she would say? You're everything to me.
Everything
Hope
to me.
for tomorrow.
For tomorrow.
Everything to me.
Everything to me.
That's all I got for y'all
Listen,
right now. Just a little
that was
bit of
incredible.
something. Just a little
Woo!
something.
For those of you who don't know, so again, like, going back, right? Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I'm pretty sure he'll be coming out with a project soon, a musical project soon. So in the musical realm of things, right? Since we're hitting on that. You and I actually met on a show,
Yes, we
actually,
did,
on
yep.
Operation Rising Star, back in 2015, and that was incredible.
It was very nerve-wracking because I personally do not do live shows. Again,
Yeah.
I've always been like a little church boy, right? So like I've never really did a competition, and to think back, and I know it's probably my first time ever mentioning this since we've been together, 8-9 years, right?
Yeah.
That probably was my very first show I had to audition. I was in chorus where I did have like lead parts and stuff like that when I was way younger, but auditioning for something,
Right.
never. I think that was my first time.
Wow.
Yeah, so the nerves were there. I did make it to the second round. It was only 3 rounds, but in the process of that, I asked about this young guy, and the rest was history. So
Yeah, it was, and I'm so grateful for you, Derion. I really am. I just want to say that I am just blessed, to have someone like you, of your stature. They always say you're gonna marry your IQ,
okay.
and I definitely agree with that. Derion has a very high IQ.
Yeah.
And I do too. And I think it speaks to the testament of our relationship, our bond, our
Most definitely.
boundaries, right? Our values, all of those things.
Yes.
And I just thank you for holding me accountable at times where I'm just like, flying off the handle or whatever, and vice versa, right?
Yes.
And I think that that's what actually is what relationships are all about.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
One last question before you go. I know the producers, tell me that I'm running out of time,
Okay,
basically,
okay.
because I talk a lot. He knows that. Thanks, Will.
Right.
So,
I know
if you wrote an autobiography, right, what would you title it?
If I wrote a full, okay.
Yeah, if you wrote an autobiography,
Okay,
what would you title it?
Let's be hypothetical. Okay. So if I wrote an autobiography today, right now, and this would be the same if I was to write one in 2 years from now, or if I wrote one
Yeah.
4 years ago, right? In the past. I probably would name it, being that I'm in the moment right now, 31 years of getting to know me.
31 years of getting to know me.
That's
Okay,
what it would
I
be.
love that. I absolutely love
Yeah.
that. I absolutely love that. Anything you would like to share, like with the audience? Any piece of advice or anything like that that you would like to leave with the audience?
I would leave with you guys and gals. The key to success, or at least my key to success, is adaptability. As long as you adapt, I believe that you will be successful in any situation that comes. So learn to adapt.
Wow. I absolutely love that. Learn to adapt. I think that's something that we
Yes.
all can live by.
Yep.
I thank you so much for being on the show. Listen, on that note, thank you so much for being here,
Yeah, no problem.
Derion. My first interview. This is crazy, y'all.
Hey,
The
number
Kiara
one.
Moon Show is live, right? Listen, again, I love you for watching. See you in the next one.
Walking like you're talking, and talk it, going and shout it out. So tell it like it is, don't be selfish. Now tell me what you